Today on the table I have the Walther Creed and the Ruger Security 9. You will see a price split of $28, the Walther Creed being $28 cheaper than the Ruger Security 9. Now the Ruger Security 9 does come with a laser sight. I actually using it, my finger's not long enough to hit the button, so I have to break my grip, come up with my other hand, and then go back into a grip. The Walther Creed, you don't get a laser sight, but you do have an accessory rail. Now the Ruger Security 9, you also have an accessory rail, but if you were to put like a flashlight or something on here, because of where the laser sight is, it'd be so far forward, you'd still have to break your grip and work it with your hands. The Ruger Security 9 is a lighter firearm. It's also not as long, not as tall, even with the magazine out, and it is skinnier. Now the Creed does have an extra round for capacity. Your Ruger Security 9, as long as you're living in a free state, is going to be 15 plus 1. Your Walther Creed, 16 plus 1. Sights. I do like the Walther Creed's better. 3-dot system, very easy to pick up. The Ruger Security 9, it's got more of a Glock style of sight. Both of them can be drifted for adjustment. They both use the same style of firing system too, where the hammer comes back and then it goes forward, basically double action only. When you purchase the firearms, with the Walther Creed, you do get a hard case, but it's just folded plastic, so this is going to wear out. You do also get a second round magazine, firearm lock, instruction manuals. Your Ruger Security 9, you also get a second magazine, cardboard box, instruction manuals, all your basic stuff. So, what would I pick? The Walther Creed or the Ruger Security 9? You gotta understand, I do have a bias against bigger Ruger handguns. That goes way back to when I was a kid, you know, watching the action movies like True Lies, Desperado, and they'd use the Ruger P90. Well, you know, I wanted one, so then when I actually was able to hold one in that, like, the controls were just terrible on it. And it's the same way with this. Like, the safety going on and off. Going off isn't that bad, but going on, it's very tough. Going off, though, swipe comes off. Slide release, it is usable, very hard to hit. Like I said, with the laser sight, it's just poorly located. The takedown of the firearm, you have to pull this pin out, and then it comes down that way. It's not crazy difficult, but it is a lot harder to do. Your magazine release, I can hit it from my normal shooting position, and it does drop free. It also goes in pretty nice. The Creed, takedown, much easier. Lock the slide to the rear, flip this lever down. Slide goes forward, comes off. Very nice. Slide release, it's doable. It kind of sucks though. Magazine release, huge. Very hittable from your normal shooting position. It's gated in too, so you shouldn't have to worry about accidentally hitting that. The overall feel in my hand feels pretty good. The magazine going in and out. Going out, that's fine, drops free. Going in, it's kind of sticky. It's not terrible though, but it's just got like a mush feel to it. Slide racking, the Creed does feel easier. I don't think there's an actual weight reduction, but there's just more surface to grab onto. For me, at least, it feels easier. The Ruger, they don't polish the feed ramp. The Creed, they do. So that's pretty cool. The Ruger, magazines, they can tilt. So you could have rounds do nosedives in your magazine, giving you malfunctions. Walther Creed, anti-tilt magazines. Trigger brake. Walther Creed, brake's pretty clean. Here's your reset. Ruger Security 9. The trigger does feel lighter. Also, brake's pretty clean. Here's your reset. Honestly, I don't know. They both have pretty decent triggers. Either one, I think you'd be alright. Now, as far as the laser sight goes, do I think that's an advantage? Well, it goes down to what I believe the philosophy of these guns should be for. This would, in my mind, these would be starter guns, something you'd learn on. For a lot of different reasons. They're easy to use, all the controls are nice and big, the triggers break clean so you can work on your shooting fundamentals instead of trying to overcome a crappy trigger pull. And for me, at least, these would be far too large to carry. And they do have accessory rail, so you could put like a flashlight on them and then use them as a nightstand gun if you want to. Now, as far as lasers go, as using them defensively,
using only my left eye, I can see that the gun is now aligned with the camera lens.
I gave them a real honest shot. I mean, I was in action movies like Cobra.
I'll blow this whole place up!
Go ahead. I don't shot her.
Lethal Weapon 4, you know, they really sold me on the laser sight. So as soon as they hit the consumer market, I mean, this goes way back, like all the way to my Ruger 1022 days. As soon as I could, I put a laser sight on that bad boy. And it was kind of cool, you know, not actually having to use the sights. But you can't ever see them in the daytime. So you got to be aiming into a place that's got a shadow or something over it. And then, like, trying to use it on, like, paintball or airsoft when I did that, it was just terrible. As soon as I'd click on, just get lit up from all different directions. Now, flashlight, that was a different story. Click it on, they can't see you. It blinds them. So it gives you a tactical advantage. A laser sight, that's not the case. There's a little red dot right on the firearm giving away your location, and you may not even be aimed yet because your laser sight's over there. So, like, let's say I want to hit that target, you know, pull it up, now my laser sight's high, so I gotta bring it down. And by the time I brought it down, I'm just like point shooting at me, I'd get lit up. It was just terrible. So myself, the laser sight, it does offer a unique advantage for training though. Because you aim at your target and you do your dry practice, the idea is to keep the dot on the target through your whole trigger pull. Because if you can do that, when the firearm discharges, you're very likely to hit. Because usually your misses come from before the round actually leaves the firearm, from you jerking it, or if it's got a bad trigger pull and it tremors really bad when the trigger breaks. So that does make this a little bit more suited for the whole training firearm theme behind it. But because of my bias against Rugers and the fact that this laser is permanently mounted on there, I mean, I could take it off the tools and stuff, but why, you know, when it's already on there? Screwing up my ability to put a flashlight on it. The non-anti-tilt magazines, the fact that this would be a trainer pistol for me at least, or that's what I'd give it to the person under the impression of, and the Ruger doesn't come with a case, even though the Walters case is kind of crappy. Higher capacity, cheaper firearm, in my opinion, better constructed, I would totally go with the Walter Creed. But thank you for watching. Leave in the comments below which one you would pick and why. Don't forget to subscribe.